So here we are at the shop, getting set up for panfish. Mike, what do you got going on here with your setup? Looks like you're going to throw a rocket bobber in this
Yep.
case.
So I'm fishing shallow water gills. I get a 7-foot St. Croix Panfish Series, 7-foot light action with an extra fast tip. It's a great panfish rod, especially for casting rocket bobbers, shallow water. Quick set on the hook when with a longer rod. Definitely want to go 7-foot on your panfish rod, in my opinion. Had a pair with a Daiwa Tatula 1000 series. With a 7-foot rod, I definitely would recommend a 1000 series reel instead of like a smaller panfish 500 series. So what I have is on my main line, 4-pound Trilene XL standard line. Okay, but then I go to, make sure you go to a barrel swivel. Okay, and then I use a 4-pound fluorocarbon leader, 2-3 feet, and that's the 4-pound blue label. And the reason for the barrel swivel is bluegills tend to spin when you come in, and so that's gonna prevent your line from twisting through the whole main line. So it's just simple, just a barrel swivel, split, put your 4-pound fluorocarbon for it's very clear in clear water. And
what's your favorite bait to use on that? It looks like you got a little panfish jig
that's
there.
Dick Smith Panfish Grub. It's pretty exclusive to us. No one else has them in the country. It's a split tail soft grub. It's a great panfish bait. And then I always tie a loop knot on my panfish jigs. Gives more action. If you tie it straight, there's not really action. You move it with a loop knot, it's going to move around like that. So these are Dick Smith jigs that we make here, made in the USA by our staff here. So those are available in the Dick Smith Panfish Grub, or you can buy them separately by the jigs and the tails. We offer 32nd ounce number 8 and 32nd ounce number 6, and then 64th ounce number 10. I like the jigs with an eye. I think it provides a little livelier or more realistic approach to the jig.
Yeah, especially that yellow pops pretty good with that little black pupil on it. It looks pretty enticing, and I know gills love it.
And then I love the rocket bobber. Rocket bobber comes in 2 colors. It comes with an orange top and a yellow top, where the yellow is on the bottom and orange is on the yellow's on the top and orange is on the bottom. I like the orange top. I can see it a lot better in the sun, definitely. And then to install the rocket bobber, you always want to wrap it twice. So there's 2 settings on that rocket bobber. There's this setting, and then they also have a setting where you can use it as a slip bobber. I'm not a fan of that. I always use the flat, where it flattens out, and I take it and I wrap it twice, and that really secures it. Okay, but the other thing is, make sure when you're done fishing for the day, pop that off. That way you're not having a longevity of kinking that line with that metal spring on there. So I always take my bobbers off at the end of the day and then reinstall them. Easy to install, takes a minute. So then I also use, when I'm done for the day, always use your lure keeper on the rod. Straighten your rod out. Never store your rods with a bend in them. Never store your rods like that. Okay, you don't want to do that. That'll create memory in your rod. So you always want to flatten it out. And then I always use a stick jacket to protect my investment. Okay?
Absolutely, those are really nice to have. Keep things from getting tangled, especially if you're keeping it in the boat next to a bunch of other rods.
Yep.
There's nothing worse than trying to detangle a bunch of rods and have breaking line.
And I can slide them in my rod locker, and I can slide 2 in at a time and not tangle the lines together, so it's easy to pull out too. So that is my setup for panfish, spring and early summer panfish shallow water bite.
Cool. I see one other offering on the table here.
Oh, that's the Dick Smith tandem rig. Tandem rig has, make these here. Comes in different colors. This one I grabbed off the wall. It has a fly made with a fluorocarbon leader. It comes with the leader and the fly. The fly sits above the jig like that. Okay, so this one's a little bit tangled, but
They did a really good job of packaging that one
yeah,
up.
sorry. But
You
yep,
get the point.
Comes with a loop knot, fly up above. One key on that is it counts as 2 lines. Okay, so when you're allowed 3 lines, you cannot use two rods with the tandem rig. Okay,
Gotcha.
so once that's straightened out,
It's on a loop knot.
yep, it's on a loop knot too. So you can tip that with a wax worm on here. You can tip this with a wax worm or a spike or a red worm. The other thing is on the Dick Smith panfish grub, you can tip that. I always tip it with a wax worm as well. Or sometimes when I'm using a giant red worm, I'll take off the tail and just add the red worm to it.
Nice. Yep, pretty universal setup. You can't go wrong with at least a jig head to start with. You can add the plastic, you can take the plastic away. You can go with a tandem rig. You can add red worm, a spike, a wax worm, a leech, whatever you want. Whatever you need, Mike's got it here at the shop.